Well, this week we continue our amazing hiking journeys with the Boomers Hiking Club and Ken Harrison. We travel about an hour from Bellingham up into the Cascades, and we're going to hike up the Park Butte Lookout. Now, this is a spectacular fire lookout that looks directly at Mount Baker, and it took us about 8 hours. It was a long, long hike and a lot of snow. We looked out across, we saw the lookout that we were going to. Ken was prepared and brought little crampons for us for our boots. And there's the lookout high perched on that hill. And guess what? We have to go across all that snow, and it slowed us up a lot. But it was a beautiful hike. And of course, we were right at the base of Mount Baker. And it was just absolutely incredible. And we got into turbo mode and we just took off across the snow, and everybody just stepped it up. But before long, we slowed our pace a little bit, and we were back to a normal pace. Took out the drone, flew across there just to kind of give a perspective of really just how wide open and beautiful this area is. Looking up towards Mount Baker. And there is the lookout right up there at the top on the left-hand side. That's where we're going.
Just push the easy button and just elevate yourself right up.
4 hours of upness.
Yep, Ken made it. And what a journey, man. What a reward. What a payoff, as Ken would say.
This lookout business.
And so was the
I'm
rest
glad
of
to
the
be
team.
here.
Mike and Chip come up. Then we're all sitting up there having a fantastic lunch and view.
They're all
looking over this expansiveness and beauty. The beautiful Cascades. And we looked across the valley, and I zoomed in with my Sony camera, and these guys were hiking up the ridge going to summit Mount Baker. And before long, I got the drone up after I got my energy back, and we flew out around just to kind of see what it looked like up there, because it was so beautiful. Look at the way they built this lookout. Isn't that something? We are so lucky to have all this in our backyard. That's Mount Baker. And you can actually sleep overnight in this lookout. We met a couple people who were hiking up to do just that. Could you imagine waking up in the morning to a sunrise coming up over the Cascades? Just couldn't get anything better than that. I think that's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to spend an overnight up here because it is so, so beautiful. And Ken always gets a group shot right at the end, and he climbs up on this rock outcropping. I think he's a little crazy, but he did it just to get the perfect shot of the group. We got our shot, put the drone back up in the air, and guess what? At the last minute, it decided to go cattywampus and crashed, and what a disaster on this rugged rock cliff. We go, oh, all the footage, everything was on that SD card, so we couldn't show anybody all the beautiful things we saw. And there it is, in the snow, and it goes, wow, how are we going to get that? So we hiked down the mountain, came up around the other side because it's way too steep to go straight down, and I hiked up across here, and to be honest with you, I was going to give up and just hang it, but Ken said, no, you got to get it.
Paul, on drone recovery mode. We're still debating whether this is even worth it, but again, all the footage and the drone is right up there.
I was fortunate enough, I made it. We made it back down the mountain, and we had an incredible day, as we always do, with the Boomers Hiking Club and Ken Harrison as our fearless leader. We went back into town. We got in about 6 o'clock, but wow, what a journey. And we are so fortunate to have this beauty right in our backyard.